2007, our total debt was about 2.5 trillion. Only about 10% of our GDP, after President Obasanjo's government have successfully secured debt forgiveness of over $30 billion. By 2014, Nigeria had become Africa's largest economy and was primed to achieve middle income status. In 2015, for the first time, a ruling party was defeated in a presidential election, marking another milestone for our democratic journey. Today, the picture is bleak. Our total debt stands at about 170 trillion, nearly 50% of our GDP, without any improvement in our productive sector. Nigeria has now fallen to the fourth largest economy in Africa, behind South Africa, Egypt, and Algeria. Our democracy is now described as undemocratic. In just 1 year of this administration, 15 million Nigerians were pushed into acute poverty. Today, more than 150 million Nigerians lack access to basic health, education, water, and sanitation. The number is growing daily under the APC government that pursues brutal revenue-driven policies while ignoring the people's welfare. Nigeria now ranks among the lowest in the world in human development indicators. This government taxes struggling citizens and small businesses heavily while indulging in extravagance. Billions are spent on new presidential jets, yachts, and luxury cars. The cost of which is more than the 2024 budget for primary health care. The vice president's residence was invented at a cost of 25 billion, more than the capital budget of our entire university research program and 6 university hospitals combined. Over 10 billion was budgeted for National Assembly, car park, and canteen, more than the capital budget of Ministry of Science and Technology. At a time, science is crucial for national growth.
That was Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 presidential election, presenting the opposition's response to the independence anniversary broadcast by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in marking Nigeria's 65th Independence Day anniversary. Peter Obi presented the opposition's response to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's Independence Day speech. And by the time you're listening to this speech, showing you how APC has brought this country to this sorry state, and by the time I analyze it finish, you weep for Nigeria. You shed tears for a nation and the economy that showed so much promise just a few years back, and APC has brought the country to its knees. That's the summary of what Peter Obi was saying in that response to Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and giving the state of the nation from his own and opposition perspective in Nigeria. It is indeed such a sorry state that we are in. Now, look at what Peter Obi said. By 2007, our debt was 2.5 trillion, which is just about 10% of our GDP. And that was after Obasanjo had successfully exited Nigeria from the debt trap and securing debt forgiveness of $30 billion. That is where we are coming from. By 2014, because of that foundation that had been laid from 2007 up to when Obasanjo exited with that debt forgiveness, by 2014, Nigeria became the largest economy in Africa. Nigeria became the largest economy in Africa by 2014. APC came to power 2015 and everything headed south. Nigeria, that was the biggest economy in Africa, is now number 4 economy in Africa. And it's not going to rise anytime soon, not with what we are witnessing under the APC administration. Nigeria holds so much promise. So much promise. By 2014, when we became the largest economy in Africa, World Bank was already priming Nigeria that Nigeria is headed to become a middle-income country. That was where we are headed, middle-income country, before these people came with their abracadabra. And Nigerians allowed them. And look at the price the nation is paying. A country that was on the verge of becoming a middle-income country just by 2014. And for people to understand what a middle-income country means, World Bank considers it a big milestone in any nation that is able to move from low income to a middle income. And that was where we are headed before the APC came with their propaganda, because basically that was it. Because what they were selling to Nigeria was just propaganda at that time, and Nigerians fell for it. Look at the countries we would have been rubbing shoulder with today if APC did not come to power in 2015. We would have been in the same middle income status with countries like India, Indonesia, Philippines, Egypt, Vietnam, Brazil, China, Mexico, South Africa, and Thailand. These are some of the countries that have been able to successfully, in the ranking of World Bank, move from low income to middle income countries. And that was where we are headed. before APC. So you can see the damage APC has done to this country. They set this country back 30 years. And if this country is not careful, it may take longer than to recover from the setback of the APC. What a tragic story. Now, look at what Peter Obi was talking about there. He was talking about our debts, how it was. We get debt forgiveness. We are about to move to middle income country status before APC came. And now since they came, look at what we have. We are now having a debt of 170 trillion. Consider what we had in 2007, 2.5 trillion. That was eventually, everything was wiped off literally. Look at where they have put us now. 170 trillion. When we were owing 2.5 trillion, that was 10% of our GDP. Today we are owing 170 trillion under the APC, and it is 50% of our GDP. When a nation is in that status, this position, that's a danger zone. That is why they are spending all the monies that should be used to develop this country on settling debts, and they're even planning to borrow more, even though those who are borrowing to Nigeria are getting wary of giving to Nigeria. And then when you are in that position, you don't have money to invest for growth, like what we are witnessing. And when you are in that position, what do? You try to raise money by all means. And that is what Tinubu is doing. And Peter Obi mentioned it, taxing Nigerians who should not be taxed, taxing small businesses to death, taxing citizens. There are some taxes that are coming to all of us from January. It's coming. Because the ratio of our GDP to our debt is 50%. No, who does that in any nation? But that is where they have put us. So now they have done the tax in which nobody can escape unless you don't have money, you don't have a bank account. You can't escape. Whether you are small business, big business, you are a teacher, you can't escape now unless you don't have a bank account. And in a modern world we live in, who will be keeping his money in cash? In a country like Nigeria that is so unsafe, one of the most unsafe places to live in the world today. So that is the price we are paying for the debts they are collecting. They have collected that they put this country to. Because they are now being forced. They are looking for taxing anyhow. And that's what Peter Obi was saying. Taxing the engine of development in all these countries that are middle income countries we mentioned, which we should have been at that level by now. The small businesses are the engine of the economy of India, China, Thailand, Egypt, South Africa. These are the engine of the economy. But they are being taxed to death in Nigeria. In an economy, you don't have steady power supply. In an economy, you don't have infrastructure of any kind of working. That is the situation we find ourselves. And we hope that Nigerians, after listening to Peter Obi and watching this this my video as I put it together so that people be able to appreciate what is happening to this country in my reaction to Peter B's response to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's speech on Independence Day. So when you have this kind of thing that APC they are doing, what do you expect? Hunger, starvation, poverty increases. Look at what he said. Under the 1 year, in 1 year of Tinubu's administration, 15 million Nigerians were pushed to acute poverty. Acute poverty. 150 million lack access to basic health care, education, water and sanitation. And these are essential, because if you don't have a healthy population, how can you have a productive country? But these people, they don't give a damn, they don't care. When they are sick, they rush to the best hospitals abroad. But they are telling Nigerians to endure. We are not talking about the poor state of education in Nigeria, because education is poorly funded. Teachers are demoralized, but the politicians are living large. Now, of course, I have talked about the taxation. P2B was talking about that the APC, they are pursuing brutal revenue-driven policies, ignoring the people's welfare. Instead of finding a way to improve the welfare of the people, they were more concerned about taxing them, literally taxing Nigerians to death. That's what it means. How much is the salary of the average worker? How much? How much? How much is the average small business making in the country? How much are the ordinary Nigerians making in the country that they are being taxed to solve the problem that these people put us into? Unbridled quest for foreign loans, putting this country into indebtedness that has forced them now to tax those they shouldn't tax, thereby ensuring that this country continue to be a consuming nation. Because you cannot tax people the way you are taxing them and expect them to be productive. And while they are taxing Nigerians, they are living in opulence. P2B described it as being living a extravagant life. Look at the billions that the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu used to buy presidential jet. I keep telling people, P2B will not have bought that presidential jet. If he must use that presidential jet, he will refurbish the one that Buhari left behind. But these people, it's all about their luxury. It's not about the people. It's to tell the people to tighten their belt while they have losing their own to enjoy unprecedented luxury. They are buying presidential jets, yachts, and luxury cars. P2P talked about the National Assembly. Because after all, from the body language of the president, the National Assembly will also feel that they also need to live in luxury, where they will budget 10 billion for park, to have a park and a canteen. That can only happen in Nigeria. And look at what they spent for the office of official residence of the vice president. 25 billion. That's what one of the things to be pointed out. Peter has exposed them. The broadcast he made, I don't know anybody, how many people believed him, what all those things he said there. But of course, we have shown that what he said makes no sense. We have already countered it with our own review of that his or reaction to Tinubu's Independence Day speech. But look at the house of the vice president. It was renovated. It wasn't that it was started from the beginning. It was renovated. A building already, it has been built before. Renovated, 25 billion. Let me shock you. It has been alleged that even the vice president may not have even packed into that building several months after it was commissioned. Meaning the heart of the vice president was not there in the first place. So why do they have to spend 25 billion to build a structure that the vice president has not yet moved into it after it had been commissioned? And that was the same building that Yemi Osibanjo, as vice president, rejected it to be refurbished. He said no, that Akiola Agoda house that he's staying, where the vice president of residence is, he said no for him. He don't need that other building. But the Tinubu administration that claimed that they met a collapsed economy from Buhari found it necessary to build 25 billion to renovate that building with 25 billion. And it's been alleged that the vice president has not even packed into that house several months after that building was commissioned. And P2B pointed out that 25 billion was more than the budget of the entire university's research program, and 6 universities teaching hospitals combined. Can you imagine? Can you imagine where we are? And people are still clapping hands for them, that they are doing well, that they need to continue. Are they not aware of these points we are making, or P2B made, that I'm elaborating upon? They are aware, but they don't care. P2B pointed out to what I said earlier about the National Assembly Park and canteen receiving a budget of 10 billion. That is more than the capital budget for the Ministry of Science and Technology. At a time, science requires more attention for any serious country in the world. So this video is basically to let Nigerians know, any Nigerian who do not shed tears from what APC did to this country after this analysis, then you don't care about Nigeria. You don't care about Nigeria. Because if you know where we are in 2014 and where we are today, and you did not shed tears for Nigeria, what APC has done to it, then it means that you are part of the problems facing this country. That's my take. I don't know what is your reaction to P2B's response to Bola Ahmed Tinubu's Independence Day speech, where P2B has drawn attention to how the APC has has destroyed the economy of Nigeria and even our democracy. I didn't want to dwell about the democracy. Talked about how that there is no democracy anymore in the real sense of the word. I don't want to dwell about it, but I want people to understand where we are coming from to where we are today, so that they'll be able to think about it and shed patriotic tears for Nigeria and say never again will we allow this, as Nigerians prepare to make another choice in 2 years' time. Whatever is your position, let's hear from you at the comment section. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, God will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.